All right. Hello again, adventurers, and welcome to another exciting episode of Realms of the Wild. Yes, this is our custom Open Legend RPG game set in our weird, messed up version of the Breath of the Wild version of Zelda, Hyrule, whatever. And the people below me are the people that are playing today, and it's pretty awesome. I also just realized, Elias, is your hello? Yeah, your hello emote is animated now. That's cool.
Yes.
His head
Yes,
popped
it
out
is.
of the ether.
Yeah,
He was
Mhm.
joyful.
Just like in real life.
it's pretty cool. Sorry, I'm very easily distracted today, so you'll have to forgive me for not knowing what's going on. Um, announcements. You have a fox emote?
My entire channel now has Fox emotes.
I should really look at that more closely. I think
Oh, Jody, it's like you don't even watch.
I watch Kiri's channel. I'm a
Dude.
mod on Kiri's channel, and I actually sometimes mod things. Not often, but sometimes.
I don't know if Elias can hear your outrage because he just broke up. He was frozen.
Oh, are you guys gonna get back together?
You know, who's to
I
say?
don't know. That's
We'll watch these two kooky lovebirds as they go through their story.
These are my three emotes, and none of them are very good.
I keep refusing to be an
I think,
associate.
to be
I
perfectly
have
honest,
no emotes.
I think Imp is the person that actually designed them for me, and he did a great job. I just did not create very good emotes for him to create. Like, I didn't give him very good emotes to create, to be blunt. But yeah, I need
Be
to
sharp.
do my emotes. Hi, everybody. How are you?
that sound.
It has been a day.
I was up late.
I hope those of you that are taking advantage of deals and the things like that will be kind to your retail employees. I spent 6 years working on Black Friday. It is the absolute worst day of the year for retail employees. It is absolutely
You must be
horrible.
very proud of yourself.
No, I'm not. I'm ashamed that I did it for
Because
6 years.
you spent 6 years building this terrible thing. Sorry, I'm determined to
So-
purposefully misunderstand every
But also-
every ambiguous
Keep
statement.
drinking your coffee, Kira.
Speaking of deals, hashtag not a sponsor, Hades is 30% off on Steam.
There's lots
if you haven't played that yet,
amazing games.
That cheap bitch.
Hades is on sale. I think if Jax was here, she would want you all to buy Wizard of Legend so you could play with her because she loves that game, and I love it too because it's amazing.
What Fall Guys is 50% off. So if you haven't done
Steam's
that yet,
autumn sale is going on right now, so everything is 1,000,000,000% off.
not everything on my wish list is off.
Hang on.
Bothering me. It's just like I want all the things.
Now, every time I see a Sherlock Holmes game, I immediately think of Kiri, by the way. By the way, if you guys don't know,
That
Kiri
makes me very
streams,
happy.
And you should watch her streams. 'Cause
I
they're
might
awesome.
stream later today if I finish writing this smut in time. Because I didn't get to on Thursday.
Kiri's writing smut.
Yay!
We now have a song.
More smut. I am glad I'm not in my parents' house today.
That's fair. Why don't we have a oh you horse?
Did you just call someone a horse?
I said horses plural. Well, okay, hashtag not a sponsor, but if you have yet to pick up a copy of Alice or Changeling, the Terra Mirum Chronicles, I don't know if they are actually
They're worth paying full price, folks.
they are.
I'm gonna put this out there. They're worth paying full price. And now they're digital as well. Like they weren't
Indeed.
digital for a while, but now that they are,
I don't have the capability to put them on sale. It looks like my publisher did not necessarily do anything for Black Friday. But I highly
Yuri, I want
recommend.
you to know that I brought your book on my trip
Aw,
to read,
what?
but I haven't touched it yet.
That's fair.
I keep pushing my copy of Alice onto my roommate, being
But
like,
I brought
no,
it
I know
to
you're
tempt me
busy.
to
Read
read
this
it,
now.
just in case the mood strikes me.
I bring books on certain trips, or at least I bring my Kindle now because I used to bring books and then I wouldn't actually have time to sit down and read because family would be like, let's do this, let's do that. And at least when I bring my Kindle, I'm not tugging around like heavy ass books and then not getting to read them. I read on the plane. That's when I get time to read.
If you're looking for other ways to spend your money on things that aren't on sale, the Dragon Knight class on the DM's Guild, which is my custom class, is not on sale because it's pay what you want. So if
It's always
you
on
normally
sale.
would pay $1 for it, which is what I think it says it's like $1 or $1.50, is what it recommends. You can get it for free and call it on sale.
That's a great sale, honestly.
Or if you normally would get it for free, you can get it for extra free.
Ooh,
Period.
extra free.
The trick with being able to read books while you're around family is go into a PhD program, and therefore the books are all homework and research. So you have to spend time reading.
That seems
That
way
kind
too
of takes
excessive, and I
away
would
the
never do
whole
that.
reading for leisure thing. I don't.
It's still fun once you
I
get
think-
past the coursework.
I think it's gotten to the point where Ilea takes coursework for leisure.
I do. I'm not supposed to be in courses right now, and I'm in a course.
Like she literally you were the kind of person that if it weren't for the fact that you have to pay exorbitant amounts, you would probably remain a student for most of your little life.
Hi, I'm trying to become a professor. That is literally what that is.
Well, then.
There was a time around middle school where it's like, okay, so I'll just go straight through college, get a PhD, and then I'll die by the time I'm 30. It'll be fine. So I've literally been planning to spend my entire life in school since at least the age of 12.
Really quickly, I'm gonna mispronounce your name. We're a Colite, I'm assuming. If you want to watch the rest of Realms of the Wild, actually the entire series is on Zelda's Twitch channel. If you want to watch backstories. Otherwise, I give lovely little, catch up to the things right
Jody, I
before
think
every
it's
episode.
War Acolyte.
War Acolyte. There we go. That makes even more sense. I told you I'd mispronounce it. Guys, anxiety brain is a weird thing. So yeah. Is there a reason Elias is a very nice looking couch?
I'm
He's
looking for
practicing
the
his
creamer
mimic
for the
skills.
coffee.
Okay.
No, I just
I've-
assumed he had camouflaged himself.
I
Yeah.
found the coffee and successfully made it, but can't find any semblance of creamer anywhere.
Makes sense. Okay.
So I'm just
You'll have to take
aimlessly
it
wandering
black.
around this kitchen looking for it.
My
Nope,
my
black
favorite
coffee.
joke setup involving D&D is a guy goes into a tavern, goes, mimics, right? Tavern owner laughs. The guy saying it laughs. The table laughs. They kill the table. Because it's funny.
In there.
Because the table was a mimic. Sweet
Here, let me
potato
explain why this is
casseroles.
funny. So,
Jokes
So
are
the reason
better
that
when
that
you
joke was funny.
explain them.
so my favorite joke is just telling the worst pun in the world, and then when no one laughs, just like, here, let me explain why this is funny.
I have an announcement.
Fully exercising the white male privilege that I only have half of.
Can I do an announcement?
Go for it.
Yes.
One of our announcements is Ilea is pretty cool, so
I got this.
that's why Ilea is pretty cool.
Wait, why is it a top overall paper award? You've
Because,
gotten a non-paper award?
actually, some divisions, yes, they allow for performances and poetry and different things like that. But the paper,
Oh.
they also have student papers and then overall papers.
I thought you meant the award itself had an option to not be paper, like you could have gotten a trophy And this is the best version of the paper award. You meant like you got an award for writing a
Or
paper.
yes,
That makes
writing
more
a paper.
sense. That makes more sense. I was like, why would you have not gotten a medal or something if that had been an option?
I am also now the grad student representative for the Game Studies Division of the National Communication Association.
Yay!
Yay.
Why are you so cool?
Because you inspire me.
Yeah, you're making
That
the right. Well,
lies.
let's be
Y'all have
honest here. We
Different
have
definitions of cool than I do.
Ilea, who has what she just said that my brain won't let me remember. We have Kiri, who is a multiple times published author and an amazing, wonderful person. We have Elias, who runs this entire channel, plus all these other things, and is an accomplished speedrunner. And then we have me, who has a lot of Power Rangers figures in the back.
Jody, when
Oh,
I
boy,
said
here
I
we go.
wanted to play D&D 5e, you jumped right in and was like, want to play a game with me?
Yeah, I remember that. I remember the exact time when a random mod goes, "Damn, I wish I could play this." And I said, "Hey, do you want to play my game? I have a really screwed up. It's not really D&D, but we use the rules."
And thus our friendship was born.
Yeah, we're not doing this like subtly put ourselves down thing. Not so
Mhm.
subtly.
I am
Yeah.
pretty proud of my Power Rangers collection. Like right here, these guys, that is all 6 of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and they have the Power Blaster.
Let's
That is
also
very
not
cool.
forget that Jody has created supplements for D&D that have become very popular.
Popular is a relative term.
They were up there, and like
It's all about aptitude. It's the way you're
You're
feeling.
so
So
it's
it's very
very
true to be
very popular.
Like
Like me.
Jody.
Yay!
La la. I have seen so many versions of that song, and Christian Chenoweth still does it best. Like, there's been a lot of amazing Galindas. There has, but I don't know why, but Christian Chenoweth's version is always superior.
She's got that chippy, hyperactive, like super prep.
I did
attitude
appreciate
down.
Megan Hilley when I got to see her live, but Kristen Chenoweth is
Well, I
the
just
OG.
find it weird because I saw Stephanie Blau. Oh, I can't remember her
We're
last
probably
name.
not going to entice Elias back to the couch. By
No,
talking
not with
about
that.
music.
No,
I liked Megan Hilty in Smash.
I did too. She was great.
Like,
and they actually handed the award to me. I've been carrying it since Seattle. It's going to go up in my office though.
Total War.
I'm reading. I'm catching up with chat.
I kind of want to make a D&D game where it's all turtle monks that are named after Renaissance artists, and they're led by a were-rat.
What's a turtle monk?
It's
Turtle.
the turtle
is-
people.
Turtle is a turtle race
Okay.
in
See,
D&D.
I grew up on the Turtle books, which had nothing to do with turtles, but lady knights.
I grew up on my
Other things.
imagination and Edgar Allan Poe poetry.
Also, did it?
I grew up on sheer force of will.
By the way, we are actually going to play a game today. I promise.
I don't
but
think so.
I have to
Not by
bring this
this
up.
time.
Did you guys know there is an RPG system called Bunnies and Burrows?
Mm-hmm. I haven't seen it played, but I did hear about it.
Right now in Humble Bundle, they have a bundle where you get a bunch of different systems all in one, and most of it is 5th edition supplements that I don't care about. But you do get the 3rd edition of Bunnies and Burrows. And I'm thinking about getting this bundle just so I can get Bunnies and Burrows, because you
Speaking of
play.
Played the game
bunnies.
Wander Home.
Hold up. Speaking of supplements, go get version 3 of the combat wheelchair. It's free.
Another free thing on Black Friday weekend. So, yeah.
This is our game. We don't tell you what to buy. We tell you all the free things you should go get.
We need to get Omar and Mimimia on here so they can do their Two Broke Geeks thing of, hey, more free stuff.
I mean, I don't know if that's really a thing anymore.
It
so.
isn't, but I
I don't-
miss it. I liked
Omar's
Two Broke
having
Geeks.
fun
They're
being
both being
chaotic.
freaking badasses.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mia's writing for something.
Also,
many
if
things,
you don't
multiple
follow Omar on Twitter, what are you doing with your life? Because it's
You are
so
missing out.
entertaining.
You need to follow both
So
Omar
good.
and Dale because
Sometimes-
their friendship is amazing.
Sometimes I'm thankful that I follow him on Twitter. Other times I'm not.
If you're a fan of Spirit,
God.
you will really, really enjoy following Omar. If you're not a fan of Spirit, follow Dale.
My favorite, in recent memory, was Omar going to the mountains for a hike and running into his father. And they live several hours apart from each other.
That's how I'm convinced that Omar doesn't actually exist most of the time, and he kind of pops into being whenever people are nowhere near where he's supposed to be. Because like no one I know has ever spent time with Omar in LA, other than a few times when Geek and Sundry did things together.
If I had powers of space and time manipulation, I would absolutely be doing that all the time.
No, Omar and I went on a wild goose chase because we missed my megabus back to the Bay Area. And so we were trying to get to it. And then in the car, I was just like, no, I bought myself a flight. Let's just go to the Burbank airport. That was one of our adventures. Quite fun going from downtown LA to try to catch the megabus before it left the Burbank stop.
Another thing that, because this is where my brain has fixated now, another thing that made me think of Kikikiri, there's a game coming out called Small Kitty Big City or something like that. And in my mind, I just went, Calcifer Simulator.
There.
You play a little black cat and supposedly untitled goose game for cats.
One, amazing, and yes, I shall be playing and streaming that when it comes out. Two, if y'all haven't played Wander Home and you have a bunch of friends who like the storytelling aspect of tabletop and less the combat stuff, you should absolutely check it out because it is collaborative storytelling more than it is a tabletop game in the best way. And
That's
it is
cool.
wholesome as fuck. It's like Redwall.
Okay,
what's it called again?
Wander Home.
Okay, I just saw what the thing says. I just saw that it said I'm pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm sitting here and I'm making the thing. I'm looking at it. What should I put in there? And then I remember you showing me the thing, and I'm like, oh, that's good. Leah's pretty cool. And then like, what should I put for the other thing? I said the rest of us are pretty cool too.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
This is what happens when Elias gives me the Kiki keys.
Oh, I have
think he
another
regrets it
announcement.
every time.
That's not even true. You do the same thing when I'm running the stream.
Yes, but I could change the text now.
I have another announcement.
Go ahead.
Tuesday at noon Central Time, I will be streaming a lecture for my students about gaming cultures. So if you feel like popping by, it will be open to whoever wants to watch. We will play games and also have like a full-on lecture. A little pixelated there, so.
All right, says I'm
There was a
Kiki
network
connection.
error.
Hey, looks like
So
we're back.
yeah, that's back. Yeah.
I've been cutting in and out this entire time. I assume it will just be happening.
Internet is fun for the folks. Anyway,
And if you would like to learn
My
more,
internet's so bad
take
here,
my
I can't
class.
even watch the stream to see what's happening on the
oh
screen.
my gosh.
well, yeah. So tune in to buy us a new modem.
Yeah. Well, were they the same problems you were having with the $200 modem?
No, the problem with the $200 modem, by the way, hi folks, we're back, was it was making a whining sound, which is apparently a thing that can happen with your modem, and it means that there's a defective part in it, and you do want to get that fixed. But modems have like 2-year-long warranties, and that would be covered under a warranty, so
Yeah.
it should be something we can fix. Anyway, how about we play a game before we lose the internet again?
I mean, that is the game we're playing. When will the internet go out again?
Valid point. I think it's time to return to the realms of the wild.
Happy to be here.
I don't exist.
The party has made it to the Courage Realm version of Zora's Domain, where they discovered something strange afoot. The Zulta of this realm was dead, as they expected, but the circumstances surrounding her death were odd. So the party decided to investigate. Half of them went to the estate of her family to try and discover more, and were able to speak with her sister and found out some very horrible things had been happening. The other half stayed at the inn they were staying at and were confronted by the head of the guards, who got into a confrontation with them and fled to avoid having to deal with the wrath of Aruna.
And my shadow beast.
Now the party
Totally.
has contacted the Inspector General and is hoping that with a notebook that they found sequestered in a tree outside the city limits, they can not only prove the Courage Realm version of Zulta's innocence, but hopefully bring the real criminal to justice. And as a reminder, thank you, Imp, for putting it into the chat. We do have a content warning that we've been talking about before we actually get into the game itself. We will be talking about some very difficult subjects, abuse, sexual assault, and other things, post-traumatic stress, things like that. So if any of those are topics that you don't personally feel that you can handle today, feel free to skip this episode. As I've mentioned before, I will always do recaps into the things like that. So if you need to skip these episodes, you're not going to lose any significant information. Once we're done with this, I will have a summary of it so that you know all the important bits. And I do want to emphasize, if you feel that this is not something that you can handle just today, or just not something you want to handle, taking steps to guard your own mental health are always a good thing, and you should be very proud that you are able to take those steps. Never feel ashamed or upset that there are certain topics that you choose to avoid for your own health. I know it's really, really easy from my own experience to get into this mindset of, oh, I'm so weak that I can't handle this. No, you're incredibly strong, that you know the things that are going to cause difficulties for you that other people will never have to deal with, and are able to take steps to prevent situations from causing you harm that other people don't have to deal with. So always remember, taking time for your own mental health and knowing where your limits are and setting boundaries shows your strength, not your weakness. All right. That being said, I needed a drink.
You said that in your DM voice.
Yes, I do that every so often. When we left last time, you guys had basically kind of set up in an alleyway to meet with the Inspector General. You guys had sent Arel and Boole to the Inspector General, and Boole had shown an image of the journal that you had found, and the Inspector General seemed very, very interested in it and asked to meet in person. And now everything's all weird because we lost Elias, but I swear we'll be back soon. Hey, cool.
But he'd never
Elias is
return.
back.
Have we switched positions?
I apologize.
No.
This will happen ever so
Darn.
often.
Would have been cool if we did, but no. No one gets to be DM. I know you're all
All right.
crushed.
Just so we're all clear, if any of us is accidentally DM, we have the 100 legend point thing that we need to do, right? Okay.
Yeah,
great.
there's precedent now.
I will mention that was a chat redemption, and that is the only reason that I allowed that to continue. So, chat, I blame you for the crazy things that will happen because of that.
Chat, we love you. Give us more legend points and we can do more crazy stuff.
I am the very model of a modern Inspector General. That would be a fun thing to rewrite.
No.
Yeah, let's do a parody of Modern Major General.
Reboot did it, and it was amazing. They used it to recap
And therefore,
the
we
entire
should not
series.
attempt. No, it was only season 3.
Was it only season 3? I thought it was.
It was
whole...
only season 3.
Oh.
It was only season 3.
It's still brilliant.
Can't wait.
I
For the
there was a
reboot,
time
reboot.
I had that entire opera memorized.
Really?
So, yes.
I didn't know you were a Reboot fan. I loved Reboot. It's too bad that
The
they
chances
never.
for survival went from small to infinitesimal. Chances for survival went from. Okay, I'm sorry.
It's really sad that they never made like an updated version of Reboot that they released.
We're not
going to
talk about this. We're gonna
It's a
we're
good
gonna
thing
just
that
keep
never
going.
Never ever
It's a
happened.
very good thing. It would not have gone over well. I'm glad they didn't. Let us continue.
Also, please be aware every time we talk about the content warning, we then end up doing a lot of jokes.
Yeah.
Almost like we struggle with
Almost like
serious
we're
matters.
Yeah, we're avoidant
But
of the
it seems
serious
like It
matters.
seems like a trauma response. I don't know.
Yeah.
Different
Mm-hmm.
people deal with trauma in different ways, and humor is a very, very common way to
They
deal
do. I've
with
just
it.
noticed that this entire group seems to deal with trauma in the same way.
I don't know what you're talking about. I've never made a joke in my entire life.
Humor, distraction, denial. Trifecta.
We really are just missing anger and acceptance for our whole
Well,
stages of
acceptance
grief
means
here.
it ends, and anger is really just a secondary emotion that is covering up one of the other ones you don't want to have yet. So we're being more efficient, but also keeping syndication going.
So
And welcome to Zolta's avoidant behavior for 4 years.
Yeah, but you really need to work on the humor part, babe.
snap.
That is not Zolta's goal.
I know.
So
Anyway,
If you meant
Cool.
that to me, Ilea, how dare you?
No, that is for Zolta. You're lovely.
Thanks.
Zolta's also lovely, just very serious.
In a different way.
So serious.
Jody's
Where
far
are
away
we?
now?
So, if
Were
I
we by that
remember,
tree thing?
remember correctly, you guys, I remember specifically, Kess, you decided to set up away from the alley in case something goes poorly.
Yes.
Yeah,
The
I
alley.
don't know. I don't trust anybody.
Makes sense.
No, this is very espionage, covert meetup stuff we're about to do, and what's his face, Jel. is either could be working with the inspector or maybe doesn't trust the inspector's going to follow him anyway. Like we gotta be on guard here.
Point of clarification, I believe I am still burritoed.
That would make sense.
I think until you say I unburrito, we're gonna assume.
I didn't
I'm
remember
still
saying that, so I wanted to
burritoed.
see if anyone else remembered me doing that.
I'm just a fan of I am still burritoed.
So, my question for you all is: the inspector is expecting to meet with someone in the alley.
Well, I think, right? Or was it someone else?
He knew that you all are working together. The reason I mention this is Arel has become remarkably silent and will probably continue to remain silent.
Oh, Rel, your timing is.
Anne's got a great background for that. Arella's in the
next,
background looking at Pierre.
1 hour and 12 minutes. So, do one of you want to be the contact point?
Fine, I can do it.
Okay. So,
I'll allow it.
So, also,
worst
Aruna was
part-
carrying Zolta. So, where are you leaving the
Oh.
burrito?
Oh well, yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna do it with burritos. So,
I'm not gonna do it with Burrito Zolta.
If someone could give me fan art of Zolta in a cloth burrito, that would be great.
remember
And a
that's
burrito.
at Green Eyed T-Bone on Twitter. There we go.
Yes.
And then also at Zelda Universe TV and at Trader Jody, because I want to see Burrito Zulta as well.
And also add Elias Thompson, because everything you make should go to Elias.
Yes. This is his
what did I
fault.
do?
So
All
where
right.
are you leaving the burrito?
I was giving it to Kess.
Okay. Kess, you now have a Zulta burrito.
I mean, I can hug her, but she's
Yeah, I
quite,
assume I'm
quite
next to
taller
you,
than I am.
not in your arms.
And Aruna is just so well versed in the world of burritos that you got extra guac for free.
Tight.
I don't know
Zolta
what
is
that
now eating it.
metaphorically transforms to, and I,
I don't know
wanna ask.
either, but I just
No.
I know
What it transforms to is Zolta now has a bowl of guac that she's eating. There are chips in the burrito. This is now just what's happening.
Slightly-
Because it's
I know-
nothing else.
people that eat burritos a lot. They're always talking about how the guac is extra, but if you know them, you can get the guac for free, and that's a big deal for some odd reason.
Well, because
is.
if it's talking about Chipotle, it's like $2 extra.
Whoa. No one ever said Chipotle here.
Not all the
What are you getting
places
at? What are
make
you
you.
talking about?
Not every place charges you for guac. Maybe go to the places that don't charge you for guac. Just a thought.
I don't know, Chipotle's pretty darn good.
Last time I was in a Chipotle parking lot, a teenager hit us with his car. We were also in a car, just to clarify.
I will point out that was probably not Chipotle's fault, though.
No, but anxiety disorder likes to make connections. I still love going in Macy's.
I will tell you the fun things that happened to me on Thursday because of my anxiety disorder after the game, because I don't want it broadcast to the internet. Okay, so it is now very, very late.
You're right.
The worst thing about this is that I left my lawyer notes at home, but I'm going to do my best to remember them.
I haven't unpacked yet, so my notes on who everyone is hidden somewhere.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. I remember I put Jael, bad guy, and then Zerna. Those are the ones I remember.
Makes sense. That's why I keep all my notes in emails, so if I need to, I can look them up on my phone.
Okay, but the backstory for Zolta is a really long email.
It is. It is a remarkably long email.
Yeah.
I just realized.
Shockingly, so is Aruna's. Just hasn't come up.
The fun thing about Aruna is Aruna started as, like 4 sentences and then became much, much bigger. But like his original pitch was like 4 sentences and that's it.
That is an exaggeration.
Because it was less?
Much.
Was it less than 4 sentences?
Were they compound complex sentences?
Were they fragments?
Aruna stands in the alley, ready.
As you are standing
Fair.
in the alley, you suddenly notice
Hate
from the
all of
other
you.
side a short figure coming forward, and you recognize the silhouette of the inspector.
We had a just real quick before this gets started. We had like a signal or a code word that we had come up with, right? For like danger for those of you watching from other angles.
Sure.
Oh,
As
shoot.
far as I remember, it was throw a bomb.
Isn't that kind of always?
Okay, sure. Yeah. Good.
I don't remember
Good.
if there was another
that
one. I'm
sounds
sorry.
like an Aruna kind of code word.
I thought Aurel had come up with a word or phrase that was
Due to the fact that
ridiculous and I have trouble
she's not
remembering.
here, what word would you guys like, and we can retcon it?
Excellent.
God damn it. I wish she was here because part of the whole, like, getting the fake journal out of there and stuff was, like, kind of dependent on her shadow stepping. Okay.
I vaguely remember it sounding like arugula.
I like arugula. Let's go with arugula.
Arugula.
Safe word is arugula. Because no one
Galileo.
would actually want to order arugula.
Exactly.
Really? It goes really well on certain birds.
No. Not at all.
John Panette has a brilliant bit he does on arugula where he goes, yes, yeah, it pairs really well with the rest of the salad. He goes, yes, the dirt flavor makes me much happier for the rest of the salad that I would normally abhor.
I'm just saying, I have had arugula and fig jam and goat cheese on a burger. It was delicious. I
That shit
regret
would
nothing.
be delicious.
It was fucking good. Stouts, burgers, and beer.
Okay, let's be clear. It is almost noon. I'm very
We
glad
have not
that I
actually
have
rolled-
food here
yeah,
because
I
you're
know.
all no. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you're all talking about food. I'm very glad I've got sweet potato casserole here. Otherwise, I would be starving because of this
Oh my
conversation.
gosh.
That's fair.
It's almost noon for me too.
Welcome
Central
to
time
our
is
side.
best time.
I'm leaving it in like 3 weeks.
Sorry.
All right.
So,
It's arugula.
Aruna, you see the inspector cookie coming forward. Do you want us to wait? You guys saw him freak out too, right? Like, I'm not the only person.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes.
Can you hear
Right.
us?
Yes, headphones died at that very
I
moment.
saw you just go. I'm like,
My favorite is there was like a flash on the screen and you were looking for it and then suddenly you were looking to the side with no movement in between.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
I have all sorts of issues today. This meeting's going to go well.
so. The inspector goes. The kiss flies at midnight.
Oh, so I know that's probably like a passphrase that I'm supposed to respond to with a specific passphrase, but I don't know what it is. But it's me, Iruna, Arel's friend.
Okay then. I wasn't exactly sure where that was going. We didn't agree on our passphrase. It seemed
Oh, so
like
then
the
what
right
were you
thing to say.
saying then?
It felt correct.
Oh, you were doing it for the drama. I
You
understand.
improved a passphrase.
Hey, were you followed?
Of course not.
Are you
Who
sure?
do you think I am that I would not be able to know if I was followed or not? I
Well,
am the Inspector
it's not so
General.
much-
I follow people. They do not follow me.
Yes, I understand that you are confident in your ability. However, I also know that, how do I phrase this? Other people in positions of power also have ability that may be interesting.
Absolutely. However, when Jael needs someone followed, he
Oh,
calls
we're
me,
using names. Okay.
not the other way around.
Okay.
So,
Great.
someone were to follow me, I would be paying them.
Excellent. Okay.
From our vantage point,
Mm-hmm.
where we can see them, do we see anyone else watching them?
Make me a perception check. I'll give you disadvantage 2, but because you're in a very unlit area, chosen particularly because it is very easy to hide in.
I'll see your disadvantage 2 and raise you 3 legend points. Because Kess is gonna have accounted for this nonsense. Fishwife.
I would like to inspire her by being an adorable burrito.
I don't think that's
You can get advantage, another point of advantage for that. So that turns into
Huzzah.
advantage 2 then.
adorable fishwife. 24.
Yay!
Okay. So looking around,
That was actually pretty low.
with
for me.
the stakes as they are, Kess, you specifically, since all this has happened and since you found out the depths of the depravity that had happened to Courage Zulta, you have been in a state of hypervigilance.
Constant vigilance.
So
Sorry.
your senses are kind of dialed up to 11 currently, and you're noticing things that aren't even there half the time. Like you're noticing movement out of the corner of your eyes that you look, and there isn't even winds blowing in the breeze. You're just kind of jumping at shadows and things like that.
You're hearing strange electronic sounds.
Yes. I don't even know what that
That
was
to
about.
me feels like not hypervigilance. That sounds like delusion.
Paranoia.
As someone that has almost constant hypervigilance, it can 100% be that, where you see movement out of the corner of your eye and you instantly turn to see nothing there. But that may be something exclusive to me. However, where I was going with that, in this particular instance, you have kind of honed your hypervigilance to look in a very specific area, and you notice absolutely everything that is going on in that alley, despite the fact that there's very little light to see and things. And as far as you can tell, not only was the Inspector General not followed, but you're having a hard time noticing things that could be used to track him. Like, there aren't footprints. There isn't a set path that you could tell where he got there. You're actually not 100% certain exactly what path he took to get to the alley. So for the most part, you think, however he got there as secretively as could have done, and you see no indication that someone is currently following him or watching him.
All right, I'm gonna bring out Bool,
Okay.
and I'm gonna ask him to turn on his lovely recording device,
Okay.
and I'm going to turn to Zolta and say, "Stay out of sight, stay safe." And I'm gonna look at the two very quiet party members and be like, "I don't know what's going on with you guys, but make sure she's okay."
Zolta's response to stay out of sight, stay safe is just going to be to bury her head below the covers of the burrito.
Reaches out for her guac and chips.
Brings it down with her.
And I'm going to carefully make my way over to join Aruna.
Zut alors, another one emerges.
Oh.
The
Oh.
goose flies at midnight.
The
Oh, you knew the
goose
password?
flies at midnight.
How come you didn't tell me?
Goose.
Skyward Sword reference. There's the bully in Skyward Sword. His name is Groose. That's why that was funny.
Skyward Sword is never.
A
fun.
grouse is also a kind of bird.
It is. So the Inspector General goes, so we now have 2 of you. However, we are missing the majority of your group. I was
Oh, yeah, they're
expecting...
They are somewhere else safe. We couldn't take the risk of putting us all in one location. You have to understand it.
They are around.
Would not have been wise.
in case
in
in case
case.
things happen. We wanna make sure not all of us are caught in the same place at the same time. Anyway,
If you ever wanted a career in inspecting, you would not be bad at it. From my own...
You're just saying that. I mean,
Now, to get to the topic at hand, I have seen a rather impressive image of a journal. And an image of a journal is nice, but it is an image. You cannot see, you cannot feel it, you cannot touch it, you cannot smell it. Makes it very, very difficult to use it to prove something. Especially when it is an image of writing. I was told that this image is of an actual object that you would bring with you. I would like to inspect said object.
Runa's gonna quickly turn to Kess just one last time, make sure he has no objections. Because she usually thinks about things I don't.
I'm gonna make sure that Bool is like positioned quite well, just like happily, just like boom, and be like, or actually, I guess I'm holding him, and being like, it should be okay. You can-
Great. Well, here it is. You can smell it or taste it or whatever that you were thinking about doing.
But if you do anything
Oh.
to harm this evidence, I swear you will instantly regret it.
Yeah, as you can see, we've made copies of it. So, yeah.
So he takes it, you watch him.
And
Open
and
the
Bool
leather.
makes a happy little note of, and this this conversation is being recorded for quality assurance.
He opens it up and you see him kind of put a page through it. Interesting. C'est vrai.
I would be cautious with some of the last pages. They are disturbing.
This is compelling. However, I guess we should start with this. What were you expecting to do with this? What were you expecting would be done when this information is brought forward?
We essentially have 2 goals with what we're trying to accomplish here. One, we're
I mean,
trying
the
to
first
clear.
of- yeah.
Oh, never mind.
No, but
Well,
go
if
ahead.
you were, I don't want. If
No,
you,
no, you
okay,
you started.
Are you sure? 'Cause okay.
Yeah, you
Well,
no.
we have 2 goals that we're trying to accomplish here. The first one being that we're wanting to clear Zolta's name, albeit posthumously, that she was not working with what was it, Yiga? Was that what the accusation was? That she was trying to kill the king or something? She wasn't trying to do any of that. So we're trying to get that. Second,
And more pressingly,
yeah.
because the people involved are still alive and still both a threat and in danger, would be to expose Jael for what he truly is.
Which is an ambiguous claim. So more specifically, we're trying
Forgive me,
to
a traitor and a murderer.
Yes. Yeah. No, though, definitely those two things. He was definitely working with that shadowy figure that we saw, who we think probably at this point has Yiga ties. We're pretty confident in that now. We still don't really know what his deal is entirely, but there is that. And also, like, I mean, I don't know if he was trying to go against the king specifically, but if he's involved in all this, he's definitely not for the king and probably for his self interests. I also vaguely whispered in his ear when he attacked us a few hours ago that I knew what he did, and he got really scared about that. So that's not really evidence, but just something to consider.
Well, I have no problem believing this to be a accurate statement from one person's viewpoint. Simply, the existence of this journal is compelling. Don't get me wrong.
What else do we need?
Well,
About the
that's it.
tattoo he has on his own body.
Oh, yeah, there's that.
And that could be useful, but we are still talking about a tattoo that, from the description here and the picture of it, is unique, but is in no way connected to the Yiga clan, to Ganon himself.
So I wrote down some notes from our last visit that I was going to ask you the last time, but I left them in the apartment, which got burned down. So it's, I'm going off memory here, but the murder weapon that was used that had like I don't know, Zoltan name on it or something. Where are you holding on to that? Is Jael holding on to that? Where is this being stored?
Because of the power of the weapon, the king felt the best place for it would be in the royal vault.
Okay.
It is under lock and key. Surprisingly enough, the only people that have keys to it are the king himself and Jael.
Oh, so Jael
Naturally,
does
of
have
course.
access to it. Okay.
Does the fact that he's been trying to actively murder us for no apparent reason help anything here?
Well, that is the other thing. Since the incident with the bombs exploding windows and then your bomb setting the inn on fire,
They tried to poison them.
there has been an alert sent to the entire city. You have all been named traitors and insurgents working
Oh,
with
you
the
actually
Yiga
have to,
clan.
like...
See, they're so quick to draw strings to the Yiga clan when there's just no evidence of that. It makes me wonder how quickly they are to draw strings with Zolta's
Well,
case when they just didn't
The
have
evidence is Jael has claimed that you tried to kill him for preventing their former agent from murdering the king. They are claiming that you not only are in league with Ganon, but have made certain dark pacts with him to resurrect Zulta in order to use her undead corpse to continue murdering the king.
That's just excessive.
He should
All
have been
due
a creative
respect,
writer.
Inspector. There are some very large flaws in your system of justice.
Well,
I can't help but notice. He
normally,
just has free reign to do whatever the fuck he wants.
normally he wouldn't, but the fact that there was a building that was set on fire and another one that was damaged.
No, you say that, but he also then framed Zolta with no proof other than his own word. Yet everyone requires to have so much more proof. I literally have Zolta's word categorized and cataloged over months and weeks. But apparently, you say that's not enough, despite the fact that it was enough to condemn her, despite it was one instance with no prior evidence or even suggestion that she had been traitorous. So please tell me how, in what way is your justice system working?
Well, the difference between now and then was there was no one defending Zulta when it happened. There was only one story to tell, and all of
And
the
that should
evidence
make
led
it
to
more suspicious.
Absolutely.
When there is one point,
I am not.
that is my.
I am not arguing with your interpretation here. There was a lapse of justice in this situation, one that I hope to repair. What I'm saying is Jael has a lot of power and has created a situation where there are a lot of people that are very, very scared right now.
So,
And
Inspector.
people that are afraid, they will
Still talking. Okay.
they will do horrible things because of their fear. And they will believe lies if it makes their fear go away.
So, with this book of actual evidence now in possession, knowing that we will not reform your justice system overnight, and working within the confines of it, as well as keeping in mind that we are dealing with potentially accusing people in positions of power, which, by the way, I have more questions on that later. What else would we need here to get the boulder rolling, so to speak?
Well, that is where your particular way of showing me this item in the first place gave me an idea. You see, I have never seen a device that could create a three-dimensional representation of an item before. That is an amazing thing to do. And you have already said that this conversation is somehow being recorded and replicated.
Oh yeah, watch this. Hey, Bull, play part of it back.
Zutalor, he has emerged. See, that is my voice. It is amazing.
The giant was like, I have brought by people believe in their opinion enough of the facts that seems improbable. Ah, boo.
So, here is a theory. Jael is making mistakes. There are much better ways to deal with this than the ones he has come up with. Again, the idea that you somehow resurrected Zulta's corpse to use her to kill the king is a strange idea, to say the least.
I mean, he definitely was not okay with seeing she was
What I'm
potentially
saying
still
is
alive.
he is making mistakes. If this thing could record him confessing, admitting to what he did, that would be significantly more difficult to refute. Right now, we have a book written by a dead traitor, is how everyone else will see this. However, if we have in his own words him describing it, and again, I was unaware that this technology existed.
Well,
It's from far away.
I would
It's-
assume Jael
it's
would
kind of
not
my
be
own
expecting this ability, for you to have this ability as well. So the fact that he would not be expecting you to be able to replicate his speech, he may be willing to say more things if you are creative.
So what your idea is that we lure him into a situation where he thinks he has the advantage, and by all other means, probably would actually have the advantage. And then we bait him into doing a bad guy monologue where he confesses like all of his plans and what he did and what he intends to do and all that sort of stuff.
Well,
And then
perhaps
record him while he does it, and then immediately play back that recording to him, and then somehow get out of that situation and give that recording to you and the king.
I mean, perhaps not an entire bad guy monologue, but at least get him to admit that.
We let him. We know we have the journal. Well, not the actual journal, Inspector. If you would be.
I mean, I already told him we knew
Keep
what he
that
did
safe.
before we actually knew what
No,
he
I
did.
understand that, but if our decoy, because I don't want him around the actual one, just in case. If our
Or
decoy,
we make a fake book.
we did make a fake book. We put a bomb in a fake book. Remember?
Did we? Oh, that was a
Yes.
good idea.
It was a great idea. You helped me.
Yeah, we
with
were
that.
going to give that
We
to you if you had been
bonded.
a bad guy.
But if we were to let it know that we had more than just our word over his, it would stand to reason he would want to destroy this piece of evidence. Would you agree?
So we need
Inspector?
another fake book that won't
No,
expose
we can use
him.
the fake book we have.
Oh, but what if he flips through it before he bad guy monologues?
Well, that's why we're not going to let him actually hold it. We're going to throw it at him to get away. It's going to be how we get away.
My concern with all of this is how do we get him to confess? Because so far he's just been like really.
We're going to have Bull read from it.
But if he knows Bull is there, won't he try to destroy Bull and therefore our recording process?
All right, I can read from it.
Okay, that works.
And due to the fact that no one knows this meeting has happened,
What meeting?
I think it would make sense for the Inspector General to loop in the head of the King's Guards for searching for these terrorists that have shown up in the city. Especially since I have recently, through my own detectives looking into these things, they have claimed that these terrorists have some sort of book that describes a completely different situation and paints Jael in a very bad light. So it naturally bring him in to tell him that they are spreading lies about him and tell him that he should probably prepare a defense in case this fake book obviously becomes public.
Wow, that sounds like a good idea.
Is
we just have to-
there any system? I noticed you have some kind of comms announcement system. Is there any way to loudly project one's voice into the city?
Yes, we have that capability, but it is limited to emergencies and the like.
Oh, I'm pretty sure Jahel's going to find this an emergency when he starts hearing what I'm going to read.
Ah! You remind me not to piss you off.
It's a good idea.
This could be very interesting. There is only one location where you can actually make that announcement. There is in the palace itself. There is a room where they can make these announcements. It is normally under guard, but
If we can get there, we can set up Bool in a place where he can record. Jael will have no choice but to come directly to us because he will also have the excuse of calling us a threat by our location. He'll
you
be
see him
off.
reach into his pocket and he brings out something that looks very familiar to you, Cass. He brings out a little hand notebook.
Oh.
He starts flipping through it and he goes and he starts drawing something. And then he rips it off and he gives it to you. My cartography skills are horrible, but that should give you a basic idea of where the room is.
I think that
Normally, the guard changes at about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. If you plan around that, you might be able to get in when there is some confusion. And unfortunately, I do believe that the guards that are meant to be coming in, they called in sick today.
Oh,
wow.
horrible.
Yes, it's very unfortunate. So when the new guards come, they will not be expecting someone different. And there will be a slight gap where they're trying to figure out who is supposed to be guarding. I should get back to deal with this, because this is something that should not be happening. We should never be leaving it unguarded for about 5 to 10 minutes.
So, really quickly, is the plan to get a confession recorded and then broadcast that recorded confession to the entire city?
I mean, we can do both.
As long as I
Oh no,
somehow...
what if during this conversation I have Bull continue to hold down whatever contraption that records, but we're stepping away?
I feel like if we get the confession in the broadcasting room, he will be suspicious that we're going to use the broadcasting room. And I also feel like if we use it, try to use it twice, once to read out from the book and then another to try and broadcast the recording, he'll have caught on by the second time, and we'll have like 50 guards in there the second time. That's or fair. Something.
As long as somehow I can get this recording, we should be good. It will clear your friend's name. He will go to prison.
I think our problem is twofold, right? One is that we have to actually get him to confess, which is we're just going to have to figure that out. And two, once he does, we have to get that recording out safely and into the broadcasting room at exactly 1 p.m. So,
I mean, I don't think we need to get it out to the broadcasting room. I want him to find us in the broadcasting room.
Won't he try to like destroy the broadcasting system or be suspicious?
Yeah, and that's fine. He just doesn't need to. He needs to just not know that Bull is there.
Yeah, but if we meet him in the broadcasting room, we wouldn't even need Bull to record. We could just broadcast what he's doing, which he probably knows and would be suspicious of, right?
Again, he is acting irrationally right now. And the idea of you reading
we can also use
a
it
journal of his
as a way to bring him forward and then make a run for it and corner him elsewhere when he thinks he has us cornered.
So we would read the journal over
it's just to draw him to us.
Over the broadcast. Have him, lure him there to stop us when we have already left at that point. Although how we're going to get out after we do that is something to figure out. And then meet him somewhere else to record his confession, or what?
No, I wasn't actually planning on leaving the room.
Oh, what is the plan here? Because we have parts of it, but not a whole plan.
The inspector looks at Kiki Kess.
We get in. We draw him out. Because of exactly the nature of what we are reading, I don't imagine he's going to feel very comfortable sending anyone in his stead. He may come with lots of guards, potentially, but probably not. Because by reading this out, we are kind of suggesting, or rather stating rather plainly, that we have actual evidence that if other people see, they might actually take a pause and wonder, why is the only thing we have against this fallen Zora just this man's word? Why is that all that we are taking as pure hard evidence?
Okay. So we have.
We also could book
we
it
have-
out of there and draw him out somewhere else. My point is, we need. Ooh, actually,
This is her thinking face. When she has a new idea, she does this, and usually it's a good idea, but sometimes they're bad ideas. We'll have to wait and see which one it is here.
Inspector, how have you seen this broadcast room yourself?
I have been in it many times.
And how rudimentary would you say the system is?
The system is one of the most advanced things in all of Hyrule. The Hyruleans themselves have nothing that rivals this. We are very proud of it.
Well, Hyrule's
Brilliant.
destroyed
But
right now, so that makes
Does
sense.
Hyrule have anything? And she holds up Bull like this.
No, that would be something new.
So, how likely would it be to be able to potentially rig something in a few, to hook it up so that one could perhaps project to that room or operate the controls in that room without actually being in that room? One brilliant mind to another.
Well, that is where our brilliances differ slightly. See, my brilliance is in investigation and the interpretation of people. I am a people person. I could not tell you the first thing about how the system works, or whether it would be possible to remotely access it or not. I have been told.
How much time do we have? You said 1 p.m., right?
Oui, about 11
12
hours.
hours.
Okay.
Kaz, haven't we done like remote stuff with Bull before? I just can't
We
remember
absolutely have. I have
how we did it.
I have some confidence I might be able to work something, and if not getting out in time, Bull can get out in time.
So
If I take a
Zilas?
few, if we copy a few pages over, just so that I have something from this book that is not directly linked to Bull, I could go in. And if I'm not able to actually rewire it in time, I can at least make it known what we have. And Bull can get out of there. No one's gonna notice him. He's tiny and you're the best little bot that ever existed.
we could also just have a Rel Shadow Step in there again.
Yeah, but she's not here.
She's just not speaking. And
Yeah, but we can't really like utilize somebody else who's
knowing
not.
Jax, I'm pretty sure she'd be okay if you guys utilize her shadow step powers for good.
Okay. Well, if that's the case,
You
then
volunteered last time.
we could have
Tis,
a
I
real
think
shadow
the phrase
step
is
agent.
better to ask forgiveness than permission.
Yeah, but I really like Chad.
I sincerely doubt Jax will have any. And worst case scenarios, we can retcon things a little later.
That's fair.
Plus,
we have
Jody
her
won't
go in.
kill player characters when they're not here.
Yeah.
That's fair.
So
If we
she's
have her go in
invincible. We're just gonna have Pierre
start
and Arel
reading
just fighting
things.
on their own.
We could also suggest potentially a meeting place. Essentially have Arel use a few choice words that only he would, or at least that only he believes
That
he would know.
is entirely up to you. The less I know about your plan, the less I have to lie about. Plausible deniability is a very useful thing in my profession.
Yeah, but we should make sure that you know what you're going to do before you leave, because trying to get another meeting is more risky before that time.
Well, at this point, we should probably keep
Well,
the inspector out of it as much as
with-
possible until we have
As
the evidence.
amazing as your techniques are, those of us that do not have access to little bots, I think is what you called it, have
Called it a ghoul, not a bot.
other
Close.
things that we use to send messages clandestinely. Uh, on the edge of town, and he describes an area, there's a park with a bench. The
We're just gonna sit in the bench,
left,
right?
the leftmost armrest of the bench, the end of it is loose. If you were to invert it, twist it so that it is upside down, I will know that you need to have a meeting and we can meet in a place of your choosing outside the city. Just let me know where it would be easiest for you.
Okay.
There's outside the city there is a waterfall. Behind it there's a tree. It's where Salsa actually would go to be alone, and it's how we through her sister we were able to find her journal. I think that's a good meeting place.
So, things go poorly. Send your shadow stepping friend in. Invert the armrest. I will know that night that we are to meet.
Okay.
Simple, effective.
So if we have Arel read a few passages that essentially do not directly indict Jael, but give enough of a impression that we have further evidence against him, and then give him a place for us to meet him if he doesn't want this coming fully to light.
Sounds
Okay.
like a very complicated plan I could never remember, unfortunately.
I know the feeling. So
And look at the time.
I'm trying my best.
No.
who said that?
He's
A frustrated demigod. No.
he's again creating. You get the idea that he's creating plausible deniability again.
Oh,
of,
right.
Oh,
Okay.
I could never remember that. And oh, look at the time. It is very late now. Obviously, the walk that I took to clear my mind is cleared now. I should probably be heading back.
Have a good night's
It
rest.
was wonderful
Inspector.
not actually seeing you tonight.
Wait, are you holding on to that book? Do you have a safe place to keep it, or should we hold it, or what?
I have very many safe places to keep it
Okay, great.
that are only known to me, so it will be safe.
Excellent. Have a good night's rest after your walk completes, Inspector.
Sounds vaguely threatening.
Au revoir, mes amis. And
Au revoir.
he wanders off.
I feel like he would be able to catch on if a Goron named
No, I
Aruna
know.
was following him.
Yes.
Pretty sure Stevie
Okay.
Wonder could catch on if a Goron named Aruna was following
But
him.
you know who probably could? Our lovely Arel.
Should we vacate back to the outside of town again?
Yeah, because we have until 1 and it's late at night.
Yeah.
Um,
Again, the meeting started roughly at 2 a.m. It's now probably closer to 2:30.
So we should go.
absolutely we should.
Anything else you guys want to do on your way out of this city?
Well, once we're fairly certain we're out of like the civilization part, I mean, we still need to figure some things out.
Yeah.
To make things a little bit faster, you guys are able to get back to your meeting place, which I'm assuming is the tree.
Honestly, probably.
Okay.
Yeah, we can beat the tree for now.
So you guys are at the tree. Arel goes,
Thank you, Arel. So, we're gonna we're going to have Aurel go into the broadcast room and read from the journal, or have Pool.
I'm gonna have I'm gonna copy over some of this Bool's projections onto paper so that no projection is actually seen, in case when she shadow steps out of there with Bool, it's I want Bool to be as unseen as possible.
Makes
during
sense.
this process.
So then why is Bull going?
Because if for some reason during that recording would be good, although I guess probably not necessary for that particular instance, is it?
Not if we're going to take it off site immediately after reading the pages.
All right, absolutely. Okay. I'm gonna start copying stuff over.
Okay.
Okay.
So
So
having
how-
made backup copies and things of your notes on multiple occasions due to the fact that every time they were found, they were destroyed. This is second nature for you, just
Okay.
copying things very, very quickly. So it takes you 5 minutes to make the copies.
Okay, so Ariel can use this. This is yes. Okay, I marked the bombed one. Okay, Ariel, this is the not bombed notebook that you can read from.
She seems rather pleased that you're giving her the not explosive one.
Well, that one is for later, so we can throw it at Jael's face. But I would appreciate if you still brought that back, because it'd be nice to have a second decoy. Okay, all right.
So once we broadcast that, we'll assume the public is then on neutral ground because they don't know what to believe.
Well,
Jael will be angry,
To
and we're
start
going to
off-
try and
they might not know what they heard, and that's okay. We just need to read
we
enough
can tell them
passages.
this is what you're about to hear.
Fair. I understand that, but we are trying to entice him to give him a reason to come alone. If he thinks that there
Okay.
is possibly a chance he can get rid of this evidence without anyone else knowing, I think that's our best bet, to have him come by himself.
So how do we do that?
Well, there's a few passages in here which are damning but cryptic enough that I think he will know what it is without potentially alerting the entire city that he is the one that they are talking about. Especially if we talk about this little tattoo and maybe his meeting. That doesn't seem by these notes that he was even fully aware of what she saw.
I mean, if we broadcast the tattoo part, he might try to like get rid of it or burn it away or hide it or some way.
That's fair. But right now, a tattoo is just a tattoo.
So
Actually, there might be a reason to bring Bull.
okay,
Zolta, honey, do you think you could read some of your journal for Bull to record for you?
Parts.
Okay. How about you and I work out which parts you think might draw him out? And I think we're gonna freaking scare the shit out of that motherfucker. Because Arel's gonna bring Bull with her. And Bull's gonna be the one playing back. We don't need long, we just need maybe a minute maximum.
yeah, that's more effective. I just didn't know if Zolta wanted to do that.
A
We
real
gotta get
again
him out,
goes.
babe. I really need you to rally as much as you can if we're gonna get this guy. I can't do it without you.
Gonna kill him?
Oh, we're going to kill him. But first I want to humiliate him and shame him in front of the entire Zora population. You cool with that? You okay with that?
This is why you're my wife. Zolta gets out of the burrito.
Oh man,
Burrito emerge!
be burritoed.
But I am
Achievement
serious for
pops
people
up,
in chat.
Burrito emerged.
If anyone makes me a Zoltan a burrito emote, I will activate my associate status that has been an invite for
An
years.
affiliate, babe, an associate.
Affiliate, whatever. I'll be an associate. I'll be what I want. Anyway, I
I'm
will
so in
activate
with
it
Twitch.
and use it.
I have my own status called associate status.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. I'm not that cool.
No. I will activate the A word a status just so I can have that emote.
So, now that you have, a plan.
Well, we have the start of one. We still don't know how this is going to end.
Well, what you have been told is you will have a 5 to 10 minute window where there will be no one guarding.
Right, we have our way in, we have our action, and we have our way out. Once
Yes.
we're out and this was broadcast to everyone,
Mhm.
what then is what Iruna is not clear on, and Elias is also not clear on.
So, from what I understand of the plan, you guys have everything set for the initial enticement of Ja'el. The things that you have not told me are where you're going to meet Ja'el
Mm-hmm.
and any prep work you want to make for that meeting spot. Everything that you guys have told me thus far has given me a complete picture of what your plan is as far as how to get Arel in and out. Arel has said she can do that. Her kind of background as a thief does give her all the skills she needs to get in and out without too much difficulty.
She got into an active police station and out of it with no real issue.
She's Arel.
I'm sorry. I thought I muted this.
That's fine.
So once we broadcast and we're out of there and whatever, how are we figuring out where we're meeting Ja'el, and what are we doing once we meet him?
Zolta, is there any particular place that he would know to go that would not necessarily, that we can communicate that he would not necessarily be alerting the entire I just don't want the entire kingdom to show up until we get that confession. That might put a damper on his willingness to talk.
Because you have a diary of very intimate details about them, I do not think it would be out of the ordinary for the diary to contain a place where they did meet for illicit meetings and things like that outside of his home. So, to make things simpler, let's just say in the diary, they explain...
What illicit meetings?
So to give you more information about what you would have read in the diary, after the initial incident where he forced himself on her, he continued to do it in the guise of it was a secret relationship. And so, as does happen in abusive situations like this,
No, we're good. We're good. We're good. I don't need it anymore.
there would be other
Somebody's
places like maybe
gonna
they
lose
went.
his spine. Somebody's gonna
Well,
lose
without
his-
getting too graphic or anything, there would have been places where they went on dates.
Yeah, no. I'm picking up what
So-
you're putting down. I'm just saying I'm gonna rip out somebody's spine. It's gonna
Yes,
be great.
I would like
Gonna
us to
make
be
some
very
cool
graphic
armor
on the
with it?
violent side of things.
Armor? How do you make armor from a spine?
Oh, you just have to separate
a
out the
base.
vertebrae. Like there's plenty of stuff that you can
But
do.
also,
They're-
you can
they're
use it as
pretty-
like a cool little spiny base.
yeah.
And then we attach armor that'll wrap around from it. And honestly, there's probably lots of his bones that could be repurposed.
So it's
Make him far
Honestly,
more
very
useful
much,
than he
yeah.
actually is.
No,
Not
the
to mention,
calcaneus feels great in the hand. It's really great for a melee like bludgeoning weapon.
Not to mention, the spine itself is a fairly vulnerable spot on the human body. So, I mean, having something on top of it to protect from abjurant pokes and things wouldn't be bad.
So we have a
Bone
place
armor.
Yay!
that we can lure him to, and hardly pretty much anyone else. What
to
do
make-
we do once we have him there?
To make things slightly more simple for me, since this interaction is probably going to turn into an event, the places that you guys could choose for this altercation, I just need something that, in case this does turn into an event, I can create a map for it. So,
I would like something that has the ability to hook shot my booty away, like
Okay.
whether it's trees or something that can be gripped.
Places with
as
shadows.
well- Places with shadows, and
I mean, if we
somewhere
had the
Bull could
opportunity to
hang
describe
out
our
maybe
ideal
on a
combat
ledge
map here,
above and record.
so let's say one of the places they went on a date is a forest outside of the town with a stream that goes through the middle. Gives you plenty of places to hookshot around. There's places up top to be hidden. Everything you would want.
It's
So-
everything a girl like me trying to get a man to confess about his rape and murder would ever want. So sorry.
so the forest.
So much
And
trouble
then
right
we
now.
poison his blood, and then we poison his blood, and
Okay.
rip out the
Oh,
entrails.
have I been able to like completely like quench the poison rocks out of my system?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, by this
Yeah.
point you're feeling
Yeah.
fine.
Climbing everywhere. Okay. Okay, so when we have him there, then what? We wave the explosive book in front of him or something.
I mean, we kind of. That was my plan.
How do we get a confession out of him? Do we just, I don't know, say
Bait him?
stuff?
I mean, very interesting reading.
So we'll have to do some conversational obstacle courses there.
Little bit.
Can't
Hell, we
exactly.
could throw in the
Full,
whole, like, you know, I know you're an asshole because you've been an asshole in every freaking world we've been to. No.
I told you that already. Okay, so then we record it, and then what do we do with this recording? What do we do at that point?
Well, we're probably going to have to fight our way out of there.
Okay,
Or potentially,
that's the easy part.
maybe in him getting the book, that gives us enough time to get the hell away and
True.
get Boole to the inspector. Or honestly, if there's some way I can put some kind of receiver, like to give to a relative to put in the broadcasting thing, we might even be able to use Boole as a way to broadcast his confession to the city.
So that's where the remote broadcast would come in. How would we
Potentially.
set that up?
I don't know. I don't know
say-
what it looks like. I'm spitballing ideas. I can't be the only person masterminding this.
Kess.
No, but you're the bull expert.
Yes,
You also have been
Uh,
for 4 years.
I know,
I will
this is the
say
first time Arun has ever questioned anything I've
Uh,
suggested.
the ability for Boole to basically make a walkie-talkie kind of thing is not an ability he currently has.
Okay.
If that is a gadget that you want to invent, eventually you could,
I probably don't have enough time though
but you
right
don't
now.
have enough time right now. That would be something that the next time we have a long period of time where you guys are traveling, you can go, I want to invent this while we're taking a
Well,
week
if we
to
give
travel
it to the inspector, he could possibly
Give what?
get it to the broadcast room.
Yeah, he could.
Yeah,
I'm,
well-
I'm just saying the idea of live streaming it effectively to the
Yeah, I
broadcast
know.
room is outside of your
No, I
Boole's
know,
abilities
I know.
currently.
You're telling me this realm doesn't have Twitch?
It does not. That is entirely a power realm invention.
Oh,
Okay. But yes, we can
So-
get him the recording.
he would be able to without us bypass, and maybe we can keep Jael busy enough that if Arel takes Boole to the inspector.
So we get the recording. We start combat / distracting while Arel grabs Bull in the recording. Immediately, Shadow steps away to meet the inspector, who will tell to be close by, I guess, or something.
I mean, I think getting it to that broadcasting room is paramount.
Right. Was he going to get to the broadcasting, or Arel just?
I'm
take
saying
it back?
he has the ability to go there when it's not a convenient gap in.
Yeah. So we need to get it to him.
Exactly.
So do we tell him to be nearby, or does she shadow step all the way into the city somewhere, or what?
I mean, I think
what
she
would
got
you
into the police precinct pretty easily.
guys? Yeah. Okay. They might be on high alert at that point, but
They were on high alert when we went in.
well, high alert because we'll have just broadcast a questionable accusation across the whole city
Well,
at that point.
Arel again goes.
Sort of.
I
What they
appreciate
will
your
have heard
positivity.
will be a dead woman's voice.
Yeah.
That doesn't necessarily mean us.
No. But he'll know it was us.
Yeah, he'll know, but at that point, he's trying to keep it quiet because of what we have just revealed that we have.
Yeah, but he might have some like trusted guards that he might show up with, for all we know.
But if they're
I'm just
trusted,
trying to
then he
make
has no
sure-
qualms saying anything in front of them.
Yeah, no, I'm just trying to make sure that.
No, I get that, and I respect that.
That we eliminate as much as can go wrong here as we can foresee it. Okay, so she'll get Bull with the recording to the inspector in the police station, and then we'll have to trust him to get it to the broadcast room.
Unless you think Arel can do it to the broadcast room herself.
Maybe she can stay nearby as he goes there. Through
Oh,
the
absolutely.
shadows
I was fully expecting her to stay with him.
and be the backup plan in case something goes wrong with him getting it there.
Heck, if she lets him know what she has, he could just walk his way towards the thing and she could shadow step behind him.
Yeah, just stalk him a little bit and then intervene if something goes wrong.
Yes, we want her to shadow him.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I think this could work.
So we need to let the inspector know later that day, tomorrow, I guess. Well, we need to let him know immediately that we're gonna go into the broadcast room, or does he already know we're gonna go there today at 1?
He knows we're going to do that at 1.
Okay. Then we need to let him know to expect a delivery from Arel and Bull at any point during that day or that night, and know what to do.
Well, we can always decide when he's supposed to meet us, and that would give us time to potentially.
Well, didn't he say he only checked the bench at night?
No, but I'm saying we can tell Jael when to meet us.
Oh, we can? Oh,
Yes,
okay, great.
It doesn't have to be immediately because we're not going to be in the broadcasting room. We're telling him to meet
That'll
us.
also give him more time to prepare, though. If we do it soon, he'll be more, make more mistakes as the inspector.
Then we're just going to have to trust he's going to be in his office.
I mean, that's where we found him last time.
It's a pretty dependable place to find him.
It is, yeah. Unless he
And
gets
as long
found
as
out
she-
busted.
Has it. Or as long as she has Boole and finds him, then whew, be a-okay.
Okay. So then we don't have to flip the bench arm.
Unless it goes wrong.
Yeah. Okay. So, I guess you'll need to figure out what what pages you're going to read and what else you're going to say, and then we get some sleep and do it tomorrow.
Yep.
I'm going to go find some river rocks.
Okay.
Goes near the river at the waterfall.
All right, Zelda, let's go look through this together. Okay. We don't have to roleplay that part.
So you guys find a passage that seems to be incendiary and enough that, and with enough personal information that only Zulta could have known, that to Jael it will be undeniable that you guys have information that you shouldn't have. Any other prep work you guys want to do before going into the initial station to make the broadcast?
I think at this point the plan is fairly fleshed out with some backups.
Kess would like a good and healthy snuggle for Fishwife before the morning.
Mm-hmm.
This is absolutely not a response to that, but just to be clear, Zolta has her like life drain on the entire time, just waiting for enemies.
So
has
I
nothing
die.
to do. No, that would be if I use the death drain attack.
So
They're
you go in and
connected.
snuggle her, and then zoop. That was
There are
tingle
worse
I
ways
wasn't
to
expecting.
die. There are worst ways to die.
Are there?
Yes.
So again, I am not attacking.
Ways to
Yes.
I'm gonna be a big spoon.
So,
I imagine that is exactly how that would go down.
You can still be burrito too.
after spending an hour or so devising your plan and getting everything set up, you guys finally are able to lay down to get a little long rest before everything goes off. And that is where we are going to end it for this week. As always, if you
A
enjoyed
real
this,
boss fight up ahead is us gonna be making sure that we remember this plan.
that's what it is. As always, if you enjoyed this, you can actually watch the entire series here right on twitch.tv/Zelda Universe to the TV. Otherwise, check out the website. There's lots of really cool stuff on zeldauniverse.net. Check out the YouTube channel. There's cool stuff that are there too. And follow and subscribe to the Twitch channel, because not only do we play every other Saturday, but they have stuff, I think 5 or 6 days a week on the channel itself. So, like Amanda's going to be playing tomorrow, and I think Mary plays stuff, and Josh plays stuff.
These are all people who stream on the channel, yes.
Yeah. I think, is Joshua right now playing Spirited Tracks, if I remember correctly?
Gonna go with a maybe on that.
Cool. So yeah.
He gives me so much credit for running this Twitch channel, and I'm like, these are good, maybe.
I mean,
yeah.
you
They
are
do play
the
stuff.
head of the Twitch channel.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this. It's looking like next week may be kind of the climax of this storyline. Who would have thought? Only 4 years to figure out stuff about Zulta's past. And now we're starting to understand why it took so long. So
See, I'm still convinced that this is what we're dealing with here. Everything we're gonna learn is maybe like an eighth of her backstory or something, and there's still just.
Well, I'm definitely not I am not putting forth extra information. That's for sure.
The best part about this is, while this is related to Zulta's backstory, and Leah and I have had quite a few conversations about this, this is not Zulta's backstory. This is
this
current
realm's
Zulta's.
Zulta's backstory.
And it's very different from Zulta's. And it's my favorite thing about this, is we are learning about her backstory without learning a damn thing. And it's amazing.
You're learning some things, but
Tess
you don't
will
know
remember
how those
this.
things actually all fit.
Anyway,
This action will have consequences.
I hope you guys all enjoyed this. Thank you so much for tuning in. And reminder, buy Kiri's book and other things that we talked about today.
Come to my Twitch stream on Tuesday.
Yes. All right.
And keep an eye out. I might be streaming later today. We'll see.
Yes. Otherwise, bye-bye.